All right, hello, Pile One, and welcome to this reading on what you need to hear at this moment or whenever it is that you catch this reading. Before we begin, I just want to mention it is an online general reading, so of course, always just take what applies and leave what does not. That being said, I don't know who needs to hear this, but you basically have everything you need within you to succeed anywhere you go. And it sort of looks like at currently, or maybe in the recent past, or maybe you're kind of seeing that this is shaping up to happen, there's something that's going on where you're being put through some sort of adversity, some sort of difficulty, where you are being called by life, by your guides, by yourself, whatever you believe is guiding you. You're being invited to make use of your faculties, of your intelligence, of your resources, of yourself. And that's what this adversity is all about. It's not that you're being punished for something that you've done wrong. Maybe that might apply. I don't know. None of the cards here are indicating that. You'll know if it is. But the point is that whatever it is that you're currently going through, you definitely have everything you have within you to succeed, regardless of how difficult the situation might be, and or how the words that are coming through are how oppressed or persecuted you might feel, if it's that intense. So I want to start with this top row here, which I was kind of when I was shuffling these cards, I was asking the question of elaboration on what your current situation is. The tarot cards down here are kind of what the gist, the core of what it is that you need to hear, and the card over here on the left is, I kind of just left it open. And here it kind of feels more like the guidance and advice you're receiving from whatever you feel guides you. So starting from up here, which is the elaboration, I'll start from the center going out. We have Dexter, and it doesn't matter if you didn't watch these cartoons or if you don't recognize any of these references, because they're for me. I watch them. I'm understanding what they're saying. And if you know Dexter, intelligent, he's a genius, right? He invents things, always has a solution to whatever problem is in front of him, regardless of how impossible things might seem. If you don't know, well, now you know. And if you did watch it, then you know that his intelligence can kind of, it's not that he takes it for granted because he makes full use of it, but it gets him in trouble more, like a lot of the time, which he has the capacity to get himself out of. And I'm not saying that this is your own doing. I'm not saying that I'm blaming you, or that the cards are saying that you are to blame for the situation that you're currently in. That might be true. It's up to you to, discern that. But what I'm generally getting from this card is the resourcefulness, because he's a genius, you could strip him of all of his resources, of his lab, of whatever, and he will find a solution because it's his intelligence that is the core of his power, basically. We're to talk about Dexter in terms of power, but you get what I'm saying. Locket on the left is from Hey Arnold, and if you didn't watch that show, one of the characters who bullies our main character Arnold, she spends literally half her time bullying him, and then the rest of the time she's secretly in love with him and has this locket with him on it, and a shrine in her closet dedicated to him. Bit obsessive. She has issues. It's okay. We've all been there. And okay, that I'm just giving you that context because I just love that. I just love Hey Arnold. But what I'm getting from Locket is kind of like with protection. I mean, the card of protection is basically just stating you need to spend more time protecting yourself. And the way that I'm seeing protection and Locket here are doing things, making intentional effort to preserve and protect this thing that we're talking about that is yours, your talent, your intelligence, whatever it is that's yours, that you're being told is what you have, what you've been given to successfully maneuver through whatever hardship you're going through. And that in you utilizing what you have, this internal thing that's yours, in utilizing that, you'll find your way to success. And in order to do that, that's kind of like a spoiler with the van. It's like taking it with you and getting to whatever destination you're going to. What I'm getting from Lockett is like, that's true that it's yours and it's inherent, but if you're not careful, if you allow for the circumstances around you to break you or get to you a little too much, you might lose sight of this internal thing. And so Lockett, which is a representation of the secret that Helga keeps, which is her, how enamored she is with the main character. She protects the secret. And it's not that you have to keep these things secret. Maybe there is an aspect to that where maybe, I mean, the one example that comes to mind is if your talent is witchcraft, you might not want to go talking too much about that, because then, there's so much that goes into that. People, like, not that we should care what people think, but people aren't necessarily nice about that if they aren't very spiritually inclined in the first place. So that's one aspect of it. And on the other, on an energetic behalf, the wrong people knowing about what you're doing could deter your work. So it's kind of like that, where you need to protect this thing. If it's like a talent, like where, let's say you're a singer, Lockett and protection could be talking about, okay, well, do the things that you need to do to preserve your voice. Like if you're out here going to like sports matches, random example, and screaming, which you know is bad for your voice, maybe stop doing that, because you need to start preserving this thing that's your talent. If it's about your intelligence, put it into use. Like, I don't know, get into courses, things that like stimulate your brain and make, keep it from going idle, and kind of, not that your intelligence can spoil or deter, but like just, keeping it active, keeping it like a muscle, keeping it toned, so to speak. And so with Van, again, kind of like I was saying earlier, taking these things, who you are and what you're protecting, and understanding that you can, like, because it's yours and because it's within you, wherever you are, it goes with you. So if it's like, you're losing a job and, that sucks, right? But if you feel like you cannot have what you had at that job ever again, well, that's not true, because whatever you felt about that job, you felt. Those are your feelings. And yes, that place and the people there and whatever about that place, entailed those feelings. And this could be about a relationship too, now that I'm saying these things out loud. So like some type of loss. If you feel like you'll never feel those things again, though you felt them, like, those are your feelings. And so it's not that, if it's like a love situation or even whatever situation it is, it probably won't be an exact duplicate of this feeling that you'll feel in the future time and time again, but rather what you'll feel in the future will be informed and elevated, like kind of the inflated, but that's not right. It's kind of like the happiness and joy and the good things that you've experienced in the past are what breathes life into your future experiences. It shouldn't hinder you from having those future experiences, because again, those feelings, the elation, the joy, etc., you felt those things. Those are your feelings, and they come with you wherever you go, and you can have those again. You can have those feelings again, enticed within you with new experiences, because they're yours and you can take them with you. Same goes with your talent, your intelligence, whatever it is that we're talking about. Like, it goes with you wherever you are, because those things are yours. Your life, your experiences, those are yours. You can take them with you. They come with you. Like, yes, mourn what you've lost, but understand that losing something doesn't restrict you from having those things again in the future. Again, not as an exact duplicate, but as an experience that, again, your past experiences can breathe life into and inform and make better. With the tarot cards, this is where it starts to get a little more specific as to what's going on, where the Emperor and the Three of Pentacles, they're coming up reversed. And so I want to talk about them together upwards, what they're kind of saying together if I'm looking at them like this. And then when they're reversed, then this is you, the Page of Pentacles, going away from this muddled mess and taking what's yours with you away from these things. But again, okay, let's go here first. So the Emperor is the driving force of whatever it is that you've lost or you're leaving behind. So if this is a job, it could be the boss. If not, and if it's not a specific boss, it could just be the general overall vibe of the place there, the ruling energy there. If it's a relationship, the person, the individual of the relationship. If it's a group of people, then again, that overgeneral vibe of the group that ruled over this group. And the Three of Pentacles here is the structures, the hierarchy, the ways that if it's a relationship with an individual, then it's the way that you guys made things work. The compromises, the things that you went out of your way to do, the things that you received. How did that look? The dynamic, what did that look like? If it's a group of people, whether a job or friends, the way that like that network worked with each other and who stood where in terms of hierarchy, and if there was no hierarchy because it was a little bit healthier than just what did the dynamic between all of you look like? What did that feel like to you? The experiences that are had within this group. And so here, we have, there seems to be like what rules the group or the relationship if it's with an individual, and the way that things work within this relationship or group. And you understanding that you have what, because you have one pentacle and it's the Three of Pentacles here, and there's three of them here. So each of them have this pentacle that they're bringing into this relationship. And here's you understanding that you no longer want to invest here in this dynamic because you like what you bring to the table here, and you're starting to recognize, and if you don't, you're being invited to start recognizing it this way, that what you bring to the table is actually of really, really high value, and therefore you can take it with you because it's yours, and invest it somewhere where you know you'll get better returns. I'm sorry to speak of it in such cold, like I feel corporate terms, but that's just the way it's coming through. It's again, what I was saying with what I've been saying, it's this, what you bring to the table, you and your inherent talents, your intelligence, whatever it is that we're talking about, your love, whatever it is, that's yours to take with you wherever you go. And yes, you are losing something here, whether it's, voluntarily or not, whether you've been ousted or whatever the case is. Whether it's clear or not, it is being indicated to you that this group or relationship is not for you, that what you have to invest here isn't, what you're investing here isn't being properly handled, and therefore you aren't getting the returns that you deserve, whether you recognize that consciously or not. And so the whole idea of protection is understanding that what you have, what you're offering, what's yours, is of value, and as such deserves your recognition of value and therefore your protection of it. So, random example, but if you're walking down a crowded street with a briefcase and there's $1 million in there, you're not gonna, I don't talk about you, but I'm not gonna be super comfortable. Like, I'm gonna be a little nervous because it's like anybody could just snatch it out of my hands and I've lost this thing of value. So if I take extra precautions where, I don't know, I could get a couple of the handcuffs and then handcuff it to me. I could get someone to drive me to wherever I'm going so that I'm not just walking down this crowded street. I could take precautions to protect this thing that I know is valuable because I want to take it with me and make use of it. And so that's what you're being told here. You need to recognize that what you have is of high value, and you need to start treating it as such by no longer putting it where it doesn't belong, where it isn't being valued properly. And to what it means to protect that and yourself is to then take it somewhere where it will be properly valued, and therefore, like I keep on saying, you can get the returns that you know you deserve. I really hope that this helped. I will catch you on the next one. Bye. Hello, Pile 2, and welcome to this reading on what you need to hear right now. Now, before I dive into the reading, I do want to say that it is a general online reading, so if anything that I say does not fit into whatever you're going through right now, or if it just doesn't fit, let it go. It's not for you. That's just a rule of thumb with anything you find in a public space, so same needs to be said here at an internet general online reading. That being said, this particular reading does branch off into 3 different camps, and so it's kind of the same message, but it's said differently for all 3 different groups. And the general message is, I don't know who needs to hear this, but there needs to be more of a focus on something good, whether or not there is adversity that you're currently going through right now. Now let's get into those 3 specific groups. First group, real specific message. Just real quick, I want to get it out of the way because it's not that you don't matter as much as the other ones. It's just that this one's really just concrete, single sentence. That's all it's saying. And it's not just that's all it's saying. It's a doozy, because a specific message that's being said here for some of you is that if you're wondering how to make some money, or if maybe you're not even worrying or thinking about making some money, the point is you currently have something in your possession that is worth a lot of money if you wanted to make that money. Why am I getting that? Well, good fortune. Just that's good fortune right there, having something within that's yours that has high value that you can, sell and make a lot of money off of if you wanted to. But okay, issue 1, collectible origin, jealousy inducing. A first issue comic book is something that sells for a lot of money depending on the popularity of the character and the comic book. Scrooge here, who is a millionaire, so a comic book that is worth a lot, a millionaire right next to it. And Mask Island, which one of the words that reads is self-sustaining. So it's like a little story. You sell the thing that makes a lot, that is worth a lot, you become self-sustaining from it. And the tarot kind of, well, no, it kind of concretes that message in saying that the Queen of Wands is someone who is self-sustaining, and because like the fact that the Queen of Wands is coming up here is a recognition of how you have something that enables you to be self-sustaining. But regardless of that, there's this anxiety, and you're being told that you have what it takes to face this anxiety, and it's just about you taking the blindfold off and actually looking for that thing that is worth a lot in order for you to make that money, should you so choose. So that first group of you have something in your possession that's worth a lot of money. If you wanted to sell that and needed some money, you have that. Now, if that's not true for you, second thing, for those of you who are spiritually inclined, and more than spiritually inclined, witchy inclined, those of you who practice, what is being said here is you would greatly benefit in your workings and just in general if you feed your experience overall every day with more positive things, whatever that means for you specifically. Energetically, you will benefit from shifting focus from the bad things or the hard work, if it's not bad, just anything that's strenuous, and takes you out of a good mood, or whatever, your elevation or your groundedness, whatever moves you from a state of empowerment or like safety. You need to shift the focus from that. And if it's not like, if it's impossible to leave those things behind and you have to engage with these things, for whatever reason, then you need to, if that has to be a part of your focus, you need to also welcome into your view, into your line of focus, more good things to supplement that. Why am I getting that? Because Scrooge is a millionaire already, self-sustaining. Those two kind of go together. You have what you need there with you. And the issue one is like, okay, you already have everything that you need, but on top of that, there's also this great thing. This great thing that issue one is talking about in this case could be, your actual capacity for your craft and gift. Or it could be like something else entirely, like your family, a loved one, a booming, successful business, anything that's good. Just on top of what you have, you also have this good thing. So it's kind of like asking you to shift your focus towards what is there in front of you that's good, regardless of whatever is there that might not be good. And so again, the tarot, the Queen of Wands, the witch, the Nine of Swords, the anxiety that we all face and that you get overwhelmed by, what moves you from a state of empowerment or groundedness. And the Eight of Swords reverse, this indication of like, if you were to choose to, or if you place more focus and intention for it, the anxieties don't need to be as overwhelming as they feel. Because again, of these good things that exist. And it's not that these good things can completely eradicate whatever brings you anxiety or moves you from a state of groundedness or empowerment, but rather that you can supplement your experience with those bad things, or of those bad things, with good things, with positive things, and that you energetically and beyond that will greatly benefit from doing so. Now, for the third group, if you are not a witch and if you don't have anything in your possession that will, make you a lot of money, what is being said here then is pretty much kind of like that tie end of what you just heard. And if you didn't hear that, basically is you need to put more good things in your line of focus. If living a human experience is difficult for all of us, regardless of where we're at. That's just the truth of the matter. Regardless of the fact that we cannot completely remove misery, and if not just misery, then just difficulty, anxiety, just anything that, we can't just always live in a state of happiness and joy and, good feelings. And if we do, great, phenomenal. But if you're at this reading, that's very likely not the case, because what's prevalent in this reading is the existence and the hyper focus on the negativity, on the dark aspect of whatever's in front of you. And fair, if it's there in front of you, how are you not going to perceive it? You're being asked then to supplement that, to make sure that that's not the only thing that you're focusing on, that you're being invited to look for the good things in your life so that you have a recognition of those things. And I don't want to say you're going to use the good things in your life to help you feel better about the bad things, but that's as plainly as I can state it. It's basically knowing and having stock of what is good in your life and placing time and energy there, focus there, so that you know that it's there and you can feel affirmed and empowered by it, or whatever it is that you can gain from it, even if it's just the joy of experiencing it and having those things in your life, so that you know that it's not just the bad things that exist in your life. There are good things in your life too, to be experienced and to be had, and that are yours. And that in you doing so, it'll greatly benefit you. There's also something to be said, and if you're part of the first two groups, any of these groups, and you're still here, true for all of you, you do need to look for something. And I guess if you're part of the first group, you already know this, but if you feel like you're missing something, or if you're looking for something, and if part of your anxieties is, I just need this thing, or I just need to be this, like, I don't know, like, such a specific example, but if, like, in order to get the promotion that you want, you need to go back to school to, like, get a certain certificate or a degree or something, it's time to start putting, like, if you want it so bad, do something about it, basically, is what's being said here. It's like, if there's something that you want, go and look for it. Go and, like, okay, so I'm getting that from, like, issue 1, where, a collector's going to have that, and they know that they have it. But, like, let's say you're not a collector, and your grandpa just mentions to you, like, oh yeah, I had the issue 1 of Spider-Man, and I know it's somewhere in the attic, and you just remember him telling you that from years ago. And so now you just remembered that, and it's like, if I go and look for it, and that attic is a goddamn mess, and it's going to take days, if not months, to find this number 1 issue of Spider-Man, you're gonna do it if you need it, if you know that you, like, need that money. Apply that to what I'm saying here. It's like, you obviously can't create that issue 1, because it was the point of the issue 1 and its value is that it's been preserved this whole time from when it was created. So if it's not that you need to go and, like, you need to find within yourself, or maybe externally, what it is that you need in order to achieve what you want, it's about creating it. The point is, do something about what it is that you want. Don't just sit there in the desire of what it is that you want. Do something about it. Put actual effort and energy towards doing whatever it is that you need to get what it is that you want. It is time to do that now. It's, having the anxiety about it, it sucks, but the anxiety is letting you know that you want something, or that, whether it's that you want to pursue something or leave something. So listen to that. Do something about it. Don't just sit with the desire or the anxiety. Do something about it. Yeah, that is what I'm seeing here for you. So again, group 1, specific. If there's something, if you need some money, there might be something that you have in your possession that is worth a lot of money, that, it's right there for you when you need it. Second group, for those of you who are witchy, more occult, more spiritual, you're energetically going to benefit a lot from placing more focus on the good things in your life, and spending more time there. And for those of you who are not witchy, the same thing still applies, where you need to make sure that you're not just focusing on the bad and or hard things in your life, and making sure that you're also including good things that make you feel good, and bring you back to who you are internally and at your core. Make sure that you're spending time there and effort there and focus there as well, so that you're not just spending all of this time in hardship and or misery. And lastly, for all of you, this idea of, if you want something, do something about it. Go and create that opportunity, or find it and do what you need to get what it is that you know that you want. Listen to that anxiety, listen to that desire. Don't just sit with it. Go ahead and do something about it, because you can. Yeah, I hope that helped. I will catch you on the next one. Bye. All right, hello, pile three, to this reading on what you need to hear right now. Before we dive in, I do want to mention, as I always do, that this is a general online reading, and as such, if anything that I say here does not apply to you or your situation, then it's not for you. It's for anybody of the other people who are welcome to this reading, because this is very much like a public space. Anybody can come here. So it's a general online reading. Anything that I say that doesn't apply to you, don't try to make it fit. Just let it go. Understand that it's for someone else. That being said, I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but you need to be very mindful of just how potent an energy, just how powerful jealousy is. Whether it's you who are being jealous of other people or other people being jealous of you. And both apply for you. It's not that's, oh, for some of you it's one and for some of you it's the other. No, it's everybody here. You need to pay attention to both sides of that coin. How you hold jealousy and how it affects you, and how you are affected by other people's jealousy of you, whether you're aware of it or not. And if you're kind of sitting here like, who's jealous of me? Someone somewhere it has at some point or is currently looking at you with an envious eye. What I'm kind of being shown here is with these three cards up here, which are meant to elaborate on the situation that you're currently going through, kind of helping me understand the background of what the message here is that there's something, or it's an activity or a place, it's something that you go and do that you're really good at. You've spent a lot of time doing it, or even if you haven't spent a lot of time doing it, you show a natural talent, and if not a natural talent for it, just a general interest and actual desire to want to participate. A couple of examples that I'm kind of being shown. On the one hand, it could be like video games, where like a multiplayer video game where you go and you log in and you are interacting with other people and you have like skill at this game, or you've played it a long time, or you really like this game and so you go and you play. And if it's not that, then it could be like any kind of activity or a class that you're taking, something where you go and you participate with other people, whether you know these people or not. That again, you either have been doing a long time or you show an interest or a natural talent for. And so that's what these two things are saying. Pearl, it doesn't matter if you've seen these cartoons or you don't recognize them. The point is that Pearl as a character, one of the key words here is devoted. And she is. Anything that she cares for, she is 100% devoted for. And not only that, she's excellent at everything that she does. She's incredibly intelligent. She's tactical. She succeeds in everything that she does because of her excellence. And so that's that energy that I was getting, kind of why I was getting what I was saying earlier. And Jellyfish Fields from SpongeBob, what I was brought to mind was how SpongeBob and Patrick go there to hang out. And it's an activity that they do together. And I mean, I haven't watched it since I was a kid, but from what I remember, there weren't very many other people who hung out there, unless it was like one of the other characters who went and looked for them there or whatever. For the most part, I generally only remember seeing them two there because that's something that they did together, going to catch jellyfish and getting stung by them and stuff. And so that's that place that you go to, and it's just an interest for some people. It's not for everybody. It's not like this public space for everybody. It could be, but there's just this idea of somewhere that you go to participate in something that you like and others like you like, whether it's friends or not. And Super Sandwich, which reads layered, coping mechanism, and unrealistic, kind of goes with the jealousy bit here where, okay, let me explain how. Super Sandwich to me gives this idea of an overinflated expectation. Whether it's yours, you have this overinflated expectation of, you know, how good you should be or what you should be accomplishing there. And on the other side of that coin, the overinflated expectations that people there have of you. And so that's where I was kind of connecting that to jealousy, with where, you know, jealousy very often is an indication of some type of insecurity. And more often than not, an insecurity is just something that we're kind of overinflating. It's an overinflated expectation that we're placing on ourselves that we have kind of seen we're not meeting, and therefore there's that insecurity. So super sandwich kind of connects to jealousy in that way of that overinflated expectation, whether it's yours, you know, your overinflated expectations onto the things that you're participating in, or the overinflated expectations that those things have on you, the people that have on you. And so the main message here, what's being said to you, what you need to hear, is that this is going to exist regardless of where you take yourself. It's not a failure of your character. It's not a personal failure that you're feeling jealousy, or it's not a personal failure that people don't like you because you're good, or for whatever reason that they don't like you. That has nothing to do with you. What's being shown here is that here's you with the Two of Wands, and look, this figure has the world in their hands, and they have wands are a representation of our desires and our passion and our will to actually go and get the things that we want. And so the imagery here in the Two of Wands is one of, okay, I have this plan, I have this thing that I have, so, this thing that you like to go and participate in, and the desires that you have with it, that you have for it, I want to get better, or I just want to spend more time here, or, whatever the case is, whatever the expectation is for yourself there. And that's you. And what's being shown about the places that you're interacting in, or the place that you're interacting, or whatever the case is the presence of people across the board, regardless of age or rank or station, or it's more than one person. It seems to be like it just doesn't matter whether they're a new person beneath you, whether they're more experienced than you and better the teacher, doesn't matter. Wherever you go, there is just going to exist people who are not on your frequency. They're not going to agree with you at whatever range of spectrum that lands in, whether it's actively hostile and they just don't like you and they're trying to actively sabotage you, or it's just that you guys just don't get along, they don't want anything to do with you, it's just an energetic thing, no hard feelings, it's just you go do your thing, I'm gonna do my thing. And so that's okay. The spectrum thing I'm getting from, we start with the Page of Wands and then we have the King of Swords. So Page to King, all, to me, that represents the entirety of the court cards. Not because all the court cards are here. I mean, I only picked 3 tarot cards, but because we have the first of the court cards, which is the Page, and we have the last, the King. And so that to me is just communicating from the highest to the lowest, lowest to highest. It doesn't matter. Just if you are good at something or you show a genuine interest in something, people are going, who also feel that way about this thing, are going to feel a certain way about it. If it's a sport thing, right? And you're really good at this sport that you participate in, or whatever this thing is. And even if you aren't, I'm sure you can understand what I'm about to say. It's if you're good at something, anybody else who's good at that thing is going to recognize you as competition, or at worst, an actual rival that they need to get rid of, or whatever the case is. And that's just a natural human response to seeing someone who has the potential to show you up, to do better at this thing than they can do. And that's not per se a failure on their part. Again, it's just a natural human reaction. Now, if they take it too far and they start to do things that they really don't need to be doing, then that's a character flaw, obviously. But that's not so much what's being shown here. It's not like you're being warned hey, be careful, people might be trying to sabotage you. I'm not seeing that here. More so, the message that's coming through is that you need to have a clear understanding. You need to accept and be comfortable with the fact that you are going to entice reactions because of who you are, whether it's because of that genuine talent, the genuine interest, whatever the case is. And that's just part of it. That's part of the deal. If people do not like you, you need to not take that personally. It has nothing to do with you. More often than not, it really does have nothing to do with you. And even when it does, maybe if you make a mistake or whatever the case is, you just being good causes a reaction to another person, there's only so much you can do about how other people are going to feel about it. And you're kind of you're being asked, you're being invited to reaffirm for yourself why you're doing this in the first place, because you're going to face adversity beyond just the jealousy and other people trying, having a certain negative reaction to you. Beyond that, there's going to be other types of adversity that come with any journey that we partake in. And so if we can start the journey, or even if we're already on that journey, if we can affirm to ourselves that what matters is that we want to be on this journey, that we want to be here, that we actually have a desire and or a talent, and that by itself, just a desire to be there or a genuine talent or interest, that's enough for you to deserve to be there. Not that it's not about deserve, but it's just, if you find yourself feeling negatively impacted by other people's reaction to you in these spaces, understand that that has nothing to do with you, and that you've only really failed if you allow for other people to dictate for you that you can no longer do this or that you're not welcome here. If you forego, if you ignore, if you stifle your natural talent and or desire to be here to keep other people comfortable, regardless of where they land, whether they're newbie beneath you or they're outrank you, veteran, whatever the case is. So it's just about you wanting to be there. That's what matters. Continue to be there. Stay where you know that you want to be, and fuck the haters, basically, is what this is saying. I really hope that this helped. This was really quick and to the point. I loved it. And I hope to catch you on the next one. Bye.